Welcome everyone to CDO's Magazine series of one-on-one interviews with CDOs, key leaders, and key influencers. I'm your host, Robert Lutton, Vice President, Stantel Consultants, and I'm coming to you today from Toronto, Canada. On behalf of the CDO Magazine, I have the pleasure of introducing David Burgess, who is the head of data engineering at Pinterest. Welcome, Dave.
Well, thanks so much, Robert.
In looking to modernize a data architecture, this may involve obviously transforming the organization to become more data-driven.
Yep.
Can you share your thoughts on, was this the best approach for Pinterest? And if it was, how did you actually go ahead and enable such of that? Did you work with partners? Did you bring in expert resources and things like that?
Yeah, well, I've been very fortunate to be part of data-driven cultures at Pinterest and previous companies as well.
Right.
But I have needed to encourage people to adopt new systems and also to embrace, in previous companies, to embrace machine learning as well. So the key really here is to start with the right set of people, and those that are really enthusiastic about a topic, and they'll become your evangelists over time to encourage other people to use that technology, whatever's decided, and give everyone outside of this group the opportunity to provide their requirements and pain points and feedback so that you can get their buy-in. So when you do actually make a decision, they were involved in the process and they will adopt it. So you also need to find the right business problem to solve that will positively impact the business and customers, and collaborate with an enthusiastic business partner to adopt it.
Right.
So at Pinterest, one of the things I did was I set we call it BHAG, a big, hairy, audacious goal for the team to, and this is really motivational for teams to try and really leapfrog from where you're at to the next place. And at Pinterest, one example was I set a goal to make our ML engineers 10 times more productive with our machine learning platform. Previously, it would take 3 or 4 weeks to train new models and then eventually get them pushed out into production. And we really wanted to get that down to a day or two.
Right.
And at first, our machine learning platform team said, didn't think that was possible. But we partnered closely with one of our largest internal customers that was a real advocate for improving productivity. And that was our Pinterest home feed team. And over the course of a month or two, the team actually figured out solutions that would get there. And then we built a platform in collaboration with our partner who adopted this platform. And we ended up making our engineers 10 times more productive. And as a result of that, we were able to get some great significant wins for Pinner engagement because we were able to iterate so much faster. And after having that kind of lighthouse customer, and that could be internal or external, once you have that customer, then others get very keen to want to adopt too. And now we're in a position where everyone in Pinterest wants to adopt the ML platform, and we just can't run fast enough to do that. So
yeah, actually,
which is a good problem to have.
Yeah, I'm floored. I'm stunned. You're able to get 10x productivity out of your engineering team on the way they use the ML as code. I'd like to maybe sort of digress and just say there's got to be an article, or there's got to be a white paper. There's got to be something you can write that you could share that, because anyone that hears this might want to reach out and say, geez, I'd love to get that kind of throughput from my team. So, do expect that you probably get folks contacting you saying, you're the guy that's got the 10x, productivity team. Wow, we should just outsource to you. You might actually be able to put your own little outsource environment. So
a new business opportunity for Pinterest.
Indeed. Absolutely. There you go.
Well, we can certainly write that up. That'll be fine.
You know what? I'll mention that to the team as well. But one of the other things that you mentioned was obviously finding the right person, right? And obviously this is critical. And I'm wondering if maybe you can share your thoughts on, what are the critical skills that you look for in bringing people on to your group so that you can,
Yeah.
so they can leverage modernizing the data architecture. What do you look for?
Yeah, well, for recruiting, we definitely look for a number of skills, and the big ones are being motivated, having a great attitude, and then being inquisitive, wanting to figure out what the problems are and how to solve them, and proposing solutions. So those are big ones, and then of course, like learning, showing that they've learned some skills doing that. And so, of course, there's so many different skills in a data organization
Yeah,
that it
yeah, yeah.
can't just everyone plays their role, and so it's there's a huge variety. But getting really top talent is definitely is key and critical to having a great engineering organization,
So,
not just data
so just to
organization.
digress on that, or to sort of fill that thought out. So, motivational attitude and inquisitiveness.
Yeah.
Do you find that you are able to bootstrap people up internally, or do you kind of go outside and leverage talent? And is there a mix? Is there a balance that you've got in your mind?
So we actually, when we interview people, we don't necessarily expect them to know exactly the language that we're
Sure.
using, and so they can solve problems in any language. It's really about, do they have the aptitude to go and do that,
Right.
and then we're of course willing to train them, uh, and over time, people learn a ton of new stuff while they're here.
Yeah.
They don't stay in the same area that they first joined in. And we have a number of ways to develop our talent over time.
So when you get them in, you actually then bootstrap and build them up. And of course, if you've got that 10x productivity, then they're super engineers. Just one last question, Dave. And you mentioned about it. It kind of it's really all the way through, but applying AI or machine learning, especially in your business for modernizing data architecture.
Yeah.
Can you kind of talk about how you've kind of employed this technology, provide the insights of how this has worked at Pinterest?
Sure, sure. So we have more than 50 use cases of machine learning, but a few are like product recommendations. So
Right.
machine learning is used by our home feed, and our related pins. Are the pins are what people actually pin to their boards to say that they
Right.
like them, they save them. So we use ML as a recommendation engine to make content relevant and inspirational to each user. We also use it for online advertising. We have our own advertising platform where partners advertise on.
Right.
And so we have our own advertising options, which are based on use ML to select the right ads or the best ads to show with our content for that particular user. We also do a lot on image recognition. So
Right.
being able to categorize images and videos, determine what products are actually within each one of the images, so that we can then, if you wanted to know what product was and how to go and buy it, then we make that possible. We also been doing quite a bit of work on generative AI. So you actually, from text, we can generate images as well. And we've been doing quite a lot of work in that area too, and that's up and coming. We've also been exploring like code generation. So as an engineer, engineers have started to use this, where they're actually use it for either verifying their code or generating code as they're solving a problem to make themselves more productive. And another big area that we use it in is spam filtering. So to identify and filter content and accounts that really don't meet our trust and safety bar.
Fascinating. I think we could go on and on. I'm sure our audience listens would want to know more. But Dave, I'd really like to thank you for your time today. We really appreciate it. We hope that we can get a chance to have you come back, maybe talk about that 10x productivity and the methodology you use, because I think that will be definitely something that a lot of people will be interested in. And
Definitely.
just to hear what's happening with you and what's going on with Pinterest at a later date.
Thanks, Robert. It's been a real pleasure to meet you and chat with you today.
And Dave, thank you very much indeed. And for our listeners, please visit CDO Magazine Tech for additional interviews. Thank you.